Right, let's just mix up some more resin. I've stuck this one on using the old stuff that was up there already. It was nice and sticky. And now I've just got to wet it out. So I've done the front 2 layers of this larger cloth. Just this last one to go. And then I'm on to the bottom section with the big sheets. The boat is rocking in the wind, I tell you. It's blowing a good one out there today. So I'll get this on. I've got one little section about 6 inches wide or so, 6 to 8 inches there on the right to finish. I'll say, because of the overlap, it makes my sheets shorter. Shorter sheets. This is the hardest bit, is getting the resin up there. Well, I was thinking a roller would be easier, and it probably would have done, but I started with a brush, I might as well finish. A bit messy with this one, get it up there quick. There's any resin that runs down in excess here. It's just going to help me sticking the next sheet on now, so I ain't got to worry too much about it now. I'm nearly ready to get that on. I'll make sure there's enough resin on the glass, properly wetted. A little bit white there, but I think it's got resin in, it's just waiting to soak in really. So it's about getting it on, get it in place, get it wet out. Try not to pull it around too much. Walking the air out where you can. So whilst I'm brushing it on, I'm stabbing the air to one side, you know, walking it across. Trying to get the cloth flat. Most of that's going to be done with a consolidating roll on, but obviously you don't want to leave big, massive pockets of air or dry spots. Beware of dripping resin. Don't put your face under it. Put your face under there and that drips in your eyes, you could well easily lose your sight. Goggles would probably be good. However, I think I'll just steam up. I won't be able to see a damn thing. Right, I think we're wet. I want to double check the undersides, because that's the bit, if you're going to get a dry spot, that you can't see, it's going to be there. Right, a bit more on this end here. Make sure it's nice and wet under here. And this is the bit that's the hardest to wet out. I'm going to get my last little sheet on. This will have quite a good overlap. I'll only come into there. Stick it in right into the corner. Push it back. Let it stick. Yeah, you've got to be quick, otherwise it starts soaking through. Comes through your gloves and everything soaks, you know. Wet out the top. Try and get that to stick in place so it don't fall down. That makes it easier to secure the rest of the cloth in place. Got to shout a little bit because that wind is really ripping. So that extra resin I put under there makes it easy to work through. you're not just trying to get all the resin up from underneath, you've got resin coming through it from the other side. I need a little bit more resin, I reckon. Might be enough, we'll see. Got a tiny bit left, but still got to roll it, consolidate it, wipe it out, and there's still some behind this that's going to fall through, and I've got another layer to go over the top. Now I reckon just enough resin there. Scrape that brush out, slap it on there, look, boom, just enough. Perfect amount that was. Absolutely perfect. Work it right into the corners. Make sure it's well into there. Cops pushed back into place where you want it. You know, you don't want it hanging out. These little wispy bits, I'm going to consolidate it with a roller, and that will take care of that. Right, let's get my roller out and get cracking. So we've done this bit here. I'll just work my way back over it a wee bit in a second, but there's a big air bubble, look, where it sags round the corner, with a bend, not a corner, but there's no corners, they're all bends now. Plenty of rounding off when I prepped it. So all the edges are rounded. So there's the join where the two bits are overlapped. Nice thick spot there. But you shouldn't, basically, once it's rolled out, you should be able to see that join. Like so. So now the two bits of glass have become one. Running down there. So spread that out, get the other layer of glass down there in a minute. Sort that out. You've got to be careful, as you're pulling it downwards, it can pull it out of the corner above it, and vice versa, you know. So work it one way, check it the other. Double check it, check everything before it sets up. Make sure it's right back into the corners, it ain't peeled away. Little strand there, you get the odd strand that sticks out, leave it, sand it off later, let it dry, let it cure, and then sand it out. Sometimes you keep messing with it, you just make it worse and worse and worse, especially if it starts going off. You know, you'll pull it about and you'll make it worse. You know, you really will. Just leave it alone, sand it off later. So I've got to consolidate all the layers into one. I've got 3 layers there now. So I want them to become like one layer, you know, one thick bit of glass. But what I don't want to do is squash all the resin out of them. Just the excess, leaving a bit in there still. It should still look wet. Massive bubble there, look, see? Work it up. Bubble pops, rolls the glass out, excess resin comes out. That's good. Dripping down. There's that excess, just roll that down out the way, spread it out, thin it out. Don't want any lumps drying. It's still tacky, so it's good. Like that. This bit underneath is where you get your bags and sags, gritty resin, cloth pulling out of the corners, you know. So if I get a couple of little flaws, it's not the end of the world. Well, this video will come out with that wind on it. So no pressure, just gently. Really gently. You're not pushing on this, you're just holding the roller and working it in one direction. Don't go backwards and forwards. All you'll do is roll the air forward, roll it back again, and you'll probably lift the cloth. So just one direction, lift off, put it back down. One direction, lift off, put it back down. If you have to go over it, do so lifting it up and coming back. Don't roll backwards and forwards in one motion. It's not how to use it. Roll this edge out now. Make sure I've got it all. I don't want, what you'll get is this resin running back down and pulling the cloth down. And excess of resin sitting on the corner, like on this edge where it's hanging down. And that's what I don't want. So I'm just going to roll it up and lose that now. I've worked it all onto this front face now. I could roll it downwards, but it'll end up coming back down here and probably lifting the cloth. So I'll use that, just let it drip off the top. I've got a little excess, I'm not too worried. Yeah, as long as it's not too resin rich, that'll be fine. Got a little tiny little dry spot there. terribly dry, but it is there. So, there we go. So I thought there might have been enough resin there to just work it up to it and push it out, but no, I'll just run out. So there we go, perfect now. Beautiful. Right, this is going to take quite a bit of resin. Mix that a bit more than I did on the last lot, because these are big sheets. Pour this out. Well, I'll be editing this down and making a few videos out of it really, because too much to do in one, probably even too much for two. I'll cut a lot of it out, but I want to show you the glass going on. Yeah. Careful not to pull the glass at the top still. Just overlap that slightly. Just using this to stick it down, so I'm not using my gloves and having it all come through over my hands to get it into the resin. Go, right. I think the roller will be better for this big sheet. I might just swap it a second. Now that cloth's over there, I can stick all that down without moving the other glass. The first layers are starting to firm up now. It's not cured, but it's definitely firming. Still soft and tacky. It that out, that it, cut some more. A lot of this resin is going to work down, roll out, and just be excess at the bottom, running out, you know, so you always waste some. So you've got to have enough on there to start with before you roll it. Right, let's mix up some more. I knew that would use a lot. Use not too bad, I guess. I was a little bit shy. I could have mixed up a little bit more. I wasn't far out. So I'm just going to mix up a small amount now, just to finish this sheet. line there, so make sure the thread goes in there. The bottom, I tend to find you don't need to wet as much. It's obviously got to be wet out, but when I roll this out, all the resin's going to be going downwards on this one. The only trouble you have got is if you don't wet it out fully, I think that's alright, I'm going to roll the resin down onto that and then do it, and then it starts going off. Then you've got a problem. So might as well just wet it all out, you're going to waste some. There we go. Good. That looks nicely wetted out. A little bit of resin there. I won't pour it on just yet, but I'll pour that over before I do the next one. I'll use that to soak that up so it sticks. Right, it's rolling. So I'm going to start off with this top bit. Where I've overlapped it, just roll that out. quite as much as the first lot because I've got plenty of resin on the back side already.